welcome again to another time in our English tutorial. So for this class, we're going to be dealing with another passage exercise. So we're going to look at how to answer passage questions in the exam. Okay, we dealt with comprehension. Now we're going to be dealing with the passage and filling in the gap according to the context. Okay, good. So for the passage we have, the instruction that's given to us is for us to, in the passage below has gaps numbered 6 to 15. Immediately following each gap, 4 options are provided. Choose the most appropriate option for each gap. The most appropriate option, because they might give you options where the words sound appropriate, but you have to pick the most appropriate out of the 4. So let's get right to it. A prepared speech is not easy to deliver, especially if it is not written by the presenter. Okay, now we get an idea of what the passage is about. It's about a presenter having to read a particular speech and deliver it in front of people. Okay, so just make sure that any option you choose, the words, your choice of words or answers matters a lot according to the context or what the passage is talking about. So the questions might get really tricky. All right, the options can be really tricky, but you have to pick the best. A dash document, B free C manuscript, D quantum delivery is one in which the speech has been written out word for word and is read to dash a gathering, B a conference, C a congregation, D an audience. So talking about delivering a prepared speech by a presenter, what we have as the answer would be manuscript, because a manuscript is something that is written, a one-off written address or speech or delivery that is for that moment. Okay, if you have it like a document is something else entirely. A free delivery, no, it's not, because as we said, it is, especially a prepared speech is not easy to deliver, especially if it's not written by the presenter. So now we are having the idea that something has been written that is given to the presenter to read out to people. Okay, so it is manuscript. Manuscript is not written in bulk. Manuscript is usually handwritten most times, or it is typed and printed out. It is just one paper, just one script at that moment, specifically for that moment, to be read out for that moment. It's not mass produced, like other options that we have there, and it is not a free delivery. So the answer is manuscript. It's one which is delivered by speech that has been written out, as you see, written out word for word, and it is read to. It's not a gathering, it's not a conference. Okay, the best answer will be an audience. An audience summarizes the remaining 3 options to be on the safe side. We can't call it a congregation, we can't call it a conference because we do not know. We can't call it like a small gathering because we do not know. Audience is the best common noun that covers the rest of the options, so that's the best suitable one. More questions. This kind of delivery is usually reserved for very formal, genuine, impromptu, or guaranteed occasions when exact wording is what? Is it A, conclusive? Is it B, critical? Is it C, reportive? Is it D, speculative? Such as the State of the Union address or speeches before the United Nations General Negotiation, General Organization, General Assembly, or General Audience. So let's look at the answer for this. This kind of delivery is usually reserved for very formal occasion. For formal occasions, I'm sure you've seen a lot of on the news or different formal events where people come out with their scripts, or we have the teleprompter, just in front, and they are having to read from there. Okay, so it is necessary that you have your scripts written out for that occasion for you to read from at very formal events, so we do not have free delivery and mistakes coming in. And where exact wording is conclusive, no, the answer is critical. Critical means it's very, very important to have exact wordings, okay, to be able to address your audience, such as the State of the Union address or speeches before the United Nations General Assembly. There's no general negotiation or general organization or general audience. No, it is United Nations General Assembly. So that's the answer. Let's look at more here. The primary advantage is that the speech may be highly what? Polished, B, advanced, C, analogous, or D, discrete in terms of word choice, turns of phrases, and development of ideas. The main disadvantage is that this type of delivery is difficult to do well. Reading aloud with meaningful, A, anticipatory, B, profuse, C, bifocal, D, vocal inflection requires the speaker to be very familiar with the text. So let us look at the answer. The primary advantage is that the speech may be highly what? Advanced, because we're talking to a formal audience. We're talking to this a formal gathering, a formal occasion. So we have it, the words or the speech has to be advanced, okay, in terms of word choices, in terms of turns of phrases, and development of the ideas. Okay, the main disadvantage in this type of delivery, it is that it's difficult to do well. Reading aloud with meaningful what's the next word? Inflection. Inflection has to do with the tone for which the speaker uses to pronounce the words, the rise and the fall, you know, the intonation basically of how the speaker uses to pronounce each word, for the fact that the speaker has to be very familiar with the text, okay, knowing where to rise, where to fall, where to connect, and where, you know, just to make a flow, just to guarantee a flow of ideas to the people listening. The presenter or the speaker has to be very familiar. So the answer is vocal inflection, okay, vocal inflection, because it has to do with reading out, it has to do with talking, so that's vocal. All right, so that's the answer. The next, moving on, we have if not, the words will come out choppy, expressionless way, come out in a choppy, expressionless way. Such poor delivery could destroy any what? A, interactive, B, restrictive, C, positive, D, decisive effects created by the carefully chosen what? Language, B, slang, C, dialect, D, rhetoric. And lack of familiarity with the what? Exchange, text, note, or context could also prevent the speaker from maintaining eye contact with people being addressed. So let us look at the answer. If not, the words will come out choppy, in a choppy, expressionless way. Such poor delivery could destroy any words positive. Because once you're giving a speech, you are not interacting. It's not that interaction means people have a reply, they reply you. No, okay, you making a speech to bring about a positive effect on the listener or the audience, okay? So the answer is positive effects created by the carefully chosen words. Language is not it, slang is not it, dialect is not it. It is rhetoric. Rhetoric means the choice of words, how you put your words together to create an effect. So writing a speech, they are carefully chosen rhetorics and choices of words to create a positive effect in the ears of the audience. So lack of familiarity with what? The text is not a note. Okay, a text is anything that is written out. That's what a text is. A text is anything that is written out to be read by other people. So that is what it is. A text, not an exchange, not a note. A note is a smaller one, or a context. No, the text. Familiarity with the text that is being read out. could also prevent the speaker from maintaining eye contact. When you're not familiar with something, you're going to be looking too much at the text or the paper or the script or the manuscript you're holding, and you'll not be able to maintain eye contact with the audience because you always have to look down all the time. But when you're familiar with it, you can be able to take your eyes off, come back to maintain eye contact with your audience. So that's the end of our second passage exercise. We have learned how to pick out appropriate, most appropriate words to fill up the gap in a given passage that we have just solved right now, and I hope you learned how to do that, the most appropriate one. So watch out for more videos. I will work on more exercises.